The UK-US free trade proposal has garnered significant attention due to its emphasis on reducing tariffs, lowering consumer costs, and safeguarding standards in healthcare and food quality. However, while the proposal presents opportunities for economic growth and increased consumer choice, it lacks provisions for freedom of movement between the two countries, a gap that has disappointed many advocates who see potential benefits in allowing UK and US citizens to work and live more freely across borders. They have been allied more only in military conflicts and military alliances, not people to people as much as it could have been, which is a loss for both countries. Economic potential and consumer benefits. The free trade proposal highlights tariff reductions and a focus on expanding access to a wider variety of goods, which could bring considerable benefits to consumers in both nations. Lowering tariffs can make imported goods more affordable, increasing consumer purchasing power and creating more competitive markets. This shift would enable citizens to access high-quality, reasonably priced goods, benefiting from the best of both economies. A stronger trade relationship between the UK and the US would not only reduce costs but could also stimulate industries and drive innovation, as businesses have more incentive to compete internationally. The agreement's provisions on healthcare and food standards also offer reassurance that essential services and safety will be preserved. By setting clear standards, the proposal seeks to protect consumer health and safety while maintaining quality assurance on both sides of the Atlantic. Such measures aim to allay public concerns around privatization in the NHS or a potential lowering of food safety standards due to increased imports. Freedom of movement, the missing piece. Despite these potential advantages, the absence of freedom of movement in the proposal is a significant shortcoming. Allowing citizens to work and live in either country could provide numerous economic, social, and cultural benefits, yet this aspect remains notably absent. For many, this is a missed opportunity, as such provisions could improve job prospects, drive cross-border collaboration, and support industries facing skill shortages in both countries. After the US independence from UK, both countries are highly similar in terms of language, culture, educational standards, and economic structures, making it a natural fit for increased mobility. Many individuals who felt limited by the loss of free movement within the European Union see an expanded UK-US arrangement as a promising alternative. Moreover, such a policy could align with those who are interested in strengthening ties with other English-speaking nations, including Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Expanding worker mobility could also address long-standing economic needs. Both countries have certain sectors that face talent shortages, particularly in tech and healthcare, and allowing skilled professionals from both sides to fill these gaps could relieve pressure on domestic workforces. For example, the US tech hubs of Silicon Valley, Austin, and Raleigh could benefit from an influx of skilled British professionals, while industries like healthcare and engineering in the UK might find valuable expertise in American workers. Overcoming cultural and political barriers. One obstacle to implementing freedom of movement provisions is the lingering skepticism toward the US, especially under previous administrations. Some Britons view close ties with the US as problematic, fearing that increased alignment with American policies could bring unwanted influences. This sentiment, intensified by the Trump administration, reflects an undercurrent of anti-American views, even though British culture is significantly influenced by American media, technology, and consumer goods. However, the benefits of such agreements would likely extend beyond the tenure of any single administration. Trade and migration policies shaped now will outlast current political personalities, potentially fostering stronger and more resilient bilateral relations in the long term. In an exception to his administration's generally restrictive migration policies, former President Trump expressed support for extending the E3 visa, a program that allows Australians to work in the US under specific conditions, to include Irish citizens as well. This suggests there is potential for mutually beneficial migration arrangements that are not as politically divisive. If a similar system were implemented for the UK, it could offer UK citizens streamlined access to employment in the US and vice versa, requiring only a job offer, relevant qualifications, and a modest fee. This system could serve to simplify the hiring process for employers and provide more accessible pathways for workers. Many British citizens would see expanded career opportunities across major US markets and vice versa, such as Silicon Valley, Wall Street, UK cities, and burgeoning hubs in cities like Austin and Raleigh, which could significantly enhance professional prospects. Challenges and the need for government support. For the roughly 200,000 Americans living in the UK and approximately 750,000 Britons in the US, the current process for securing residency and work permits is time-consuming and costly. Visa applications, employer sponsorship requirements, and bureaucratic hurdles often make it difficult for individuals and businesses to navigate the system. Smaller enterprises, which constitute a large portion of economic activity and innovation, are frequently unable to bear the high costs associated with sponsoring foreign employees, limiting their ability to attract and retain international talent. In this context, the UK's Department for Business, Energy, and Industrial Strategy, BEIS, and the Department for International Trade, DIT, should advocate for worker mobility as a priority in trade negotiations. While Brexit-driven policy changes aimed to regain control over UK borders, a balance can be struck to allow for targeted worker movement that complements domestic workforce needs. Such arrangements could help ensure the UK remains an attractive location for global talent, even outside of the European Union. Additionally, as the US continues to restrict immigration from certain regions, both countries could benefit from looking at each other as potential sources for skilled migration. A mutually beneficial policy could help the UK meet demand in fields where local talent is insufficient, while offering British professionals opportunities in the expansive American job market. Strengthening the special relationship. Incorporating freedom of movement provisions could also enhance the long-standing special relationship between the UK and the US. This relationship has historically been grounded in shared values, military alliances, and cultural exchange. Allowing greater freedom of movement could add a new dimension to this partnership, fostering stronger economic, social, and personal connections between citizens. By creating more opportunities for individuals to live and work abroad, both nations could benefit from a broader exchange of ideas and skills, enriching their respective economies and societies. Moreover, addressing shifting attitudes toward migration could positively influence public perception, highlighting the benefits of cross-border mobility in a globalized world. As both countries face evolving labor demands and demographic challenges, a proactive approach to managing migration could foster resilience in an increasingly interconnected global landscape. Conclusion. The UK-US free trade proposal presents a promising framework for economic growth and enhanced consumer choice, yet it falls short in fostering greater mobility between the two nations. While the agreement offers tariff reductions and protections for healthcare and food standards, its lack of a freedom of movement provision limits its potential impact. Enhanced worker mobility could provide a wealth of opportunities for citizens, address skill shortages, and support industries across both countries. As the world navigates the complexities of modern immigration and labor needs, there is an opportunity for the UK and the US to reimagine their relationship by embracing greater freedom of movement. By prioritizing people as well as products in trade agreements, both nations could strengthen their ties and create a foundation for mutual growth in a globalized economy. UK-US should do more on non-military people-to-people freedom of movement. Thank you.